Hello there, I'm Darren.
And I'm Kat.
And today we're going to be looking at Boba Fett Episode 2, The Tribes of Tatooine, or indeed... Tatooine.
We open up at Jabba's palace, with Fennec bringing back the Nightwind prisoner, just like R2-D2 and C-3PO all those years ago.
Yeah, she gets in a little bit easier.
True.
Respect.
The interrogation begins, and the Nightwind prisoner not really giving them much to work with.
Not giving two fucks.
And then they drop him into the Rancor pit, which obviously has nothing.
Then he gives a fuck.
It's empty.
He starts to panic then, and it is quite hilarious because there's actually nothing in the Rancor pit.
Yeah, which then leaves the Nightwind Guild of Assassins with the same amount of credibility as Captain Phasma.
Trash compactor.
So they head to the mayor's office, and we see a Pedro Pascal cosplayer.
Yeah, you were not expecting Pedro Pascal.
Turns out it's not him.
So you weren't expecting Pedro Pascal, and turns out, I actually had to Google this, it isn't actually Pedro Pascal, it's an actor from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But if you Google it, he literally looks more like Pedro Pascal than Pedro Pascal.
I got very excited thinking it was Pedro Pascal with a mullet, but yeah.
So yes, we see the Ithorian mayor who takes out the Nightwind dude and pays Boba, and from here we can kind of see how Boba's having that trouble shaking off his former reputation. People just aren't taking him seriously, and that's kind of what we've seen in the first episode, where he looks uncomfortable and everyone else looks like they're just kind of humoring him. So he tells him to go and check out that old club. So he pops back there.
I like the house band.
Oh, the house band is fantastic. Yes, yeah. Max Rebo and the human testicle.
You didn't think you'd see Max Rebo for a second time.
I know.
But you have been blessed with Max Rebo again.
And just then, the drums. So we walk out, and it is the twins, Jabba's cousins.
Not one, but two Hutts.
Mm-hmm.
And a female Hutt.
Yeah, oh yes, female Hutt.
So these Hutts know how to carry themselves.
Yes, they look like a boss.
Yeah, as in they have other people carrying them for them.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly in the middle there's one guy struggling, and it does make you wonder, what the hell did this guy do to be put in the middle? He seriously must have pissed someone off, but...
Yeah, like right in the center of that dip on the platform.
Yeah, and you see him struggling.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to be carried on a ladder, though, this is how you're going to be carried if you want to look like a boss. So they look in charge, and Boba just does not. And I think this is the struggle that we're going to be leading to. And it makes sense. It makes the show make more sense, because Boba just walking in, taking out probably the next logical choice, which was Bib Fortuna, and then just assuming power, is kind of a bit, well, how did you do that? So this struggle really makes sense, and it has to happen. But then we get a first look at a live action version of this badass Wookiee.
It is a very badass Wookiee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a Wookiee that you would not want to mess with.
Well, this is Black Kur Santan.
Right.
From the Dr. Aphra series. This is kind of connecting to that wider world that they're building at the moment.
I always assumed the Wookiees as like a kind of good people.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. So he had to leave Kashyyyk, and he's a bit of disgrace to his people ever since.
Oh. Actual
quote from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay. So there's one badass Wookiee.
He's a badass Wookiee, but he's a dick. And then he just gives it this extended look, which is kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
You give the look whenever you're fucking about a little bit too much at the dinner table, and your mum just fires this to you.
Yeah, it's that look. It's the look.
And then Boba heads back, spends some more time in the Bacta tank, the Bacta pod. So we flash back to his Tusken training. We get a shot of the Pikes running some spice through Tatooine. Basically, they drive through, they completely destroy the Tusken Raiders, and then Boba's like, right, okay, you know what? Later on that night, they see the same biker gang from the last episode, because they have the same penis symbols on their bikes. So Boba says, right, I'll be back. Shoots down, does the whole Terminator 2.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Teaches the Tuskens how to ride some speeder bike.
Like a panther. Yes.
Which looks pretty fun.
Yeah. So they go on the raid, they attack the speeder train, take it down, and and then they get a whole group of the Pikes, and Boba starts doing a wee bit of interrogating, asks them, "Are you running spice?" And they said,
What is spice?
"What is spice, officer? I've never seen that before in my life."
That's not mine.
So yeah, they send the Pikes home. Now the Pikes, if they want to run through that territory, have to pay the Tusken Raiders. As payment, the Tuskens tell Boba a bit more about themselves, about all the tribes that are in Tatooine, some that are violent, some that are just hiding, and send him off on his own spirit quest with a little space lizard. Hit him with some pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
So we get this whole spirit quest. Boba kind of reflects on where he's from, and kind of some hard points in his life. His dad leaving Camino and him struggling in the Sarlacc pit, and then him finally getting out of it. And then it turns out to be a tree, and he's ripped off a branch, heads back, and makes his own gaffy stick. It's kind of that ceremony, very, very similar to that of Jedi Knights, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like, yeah, so Jedi are pretty cool, but there's a lot more to the galaxy. There's a lot more different things going on, and it's nice to kind of see that. So yeah, but I think so all of this in this episode is going to allude to, I think, the season finale. This is going to be very similar to Dune. He's going to win with desert power. That's the only way he's going to be able to keep the Hutts off of
Spice.
Tatooine. Very spicy.
All of the spice.
So he's going to, I think, by the end of this, we're going to have a whole bunch of Tuskens, and what it's going to do is kind of unite that divide between the Tuskens, unite all the clans, and kind of heal those wounds between the Tuskens and the moisture farmers and everything else that's on Tatooine. And that's how he's going to win.
Yeah.
Because how else do you beat the Hutts?
The Hutts are going down.
Yeah. Plus earlier on, it's kind of alluded to that there's a debauchery on Nal Hutta. So there's a lot of stuff that's going through the Hutts. We don't know what way the Hutt space is working at the moment, but clearly there must be something wrong. But I like this episode. I mean, this could have been episode 1, because we kind of see this Boba Fett isn't the complete and simple character that we see in episode 5 and 6. This is him becoming something new. He's not a Mandalorian. He's not a Tusken. He's not a bounty hunter. He's
all of the above.
He's all of these and none, yeah. He's kind of only now letting all that go, kind of who he was. I mean, his dad was a bounty hunter, his dad was a Mandalorian, and holding on to that to his dad's death for so long, and kind of having that coldness about him. Like, whenever we see him in episode 5, he is super cold. He's not the kid that we see in episode 2, and even then he was quite cold as a kid. We see that a lot we see his kind of soft side kind of beating off him,
especially in the flashbacks.
Yeah, we see that kind of throughout the Clone Wars, him kind of getting a softness beat out of him, and then and now he's just becoming something new. This is his journey to how he becomes a leader. Well, that's about all we've got time for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've earned it, and check out some videos at the end of this one. See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.